One of the biggest challenges in life and leadership is defining your reality. Stay tuned to my podcast today. Please tell a friend. In fact, send this podcast to them. They will thank you. This is podcast number 76, and welcome to the Four Leaders Podcast. My name is Ronnie Floyd.
Ronnie Floyd is a leader of leaders with a vision to change the world. The Four Leaders Podcast with Ronnie Floyd is committed to investing, inspiring, and influencing your life and leadership today. With a legacy of investing in thousands and thousands of leaders throughout the years who've led in multiple arenas of leadership. Now is the time, and today is the day for Ronnie Floyd to invest, inspire, and influence you in a serious and responsible way. So spread the news and share the Four Leaders Podcast with others around the world. Now, here's your host, Ronnie Floyd.
You are in for a great time with us today. My subject is rarely discussed, yet it is so critical to your life and your leadership and the success relating to that, not only once, but again and again and again. I hope that the first few days of 2026 have been great days for you and great days for your family. I hope that you have found purpose and meaning, and I really hope you've enjoyed the time off at Christmas and New Year's if you had it, and then, of course, embracing the new year, willing to do whatever you need to do. And all that is complemented by the joy of fun activities like watching college football and watching professional football for us, perhaps not for you, but I want to encourage you. It has been such a wonderful time, and Jeana and I, we enjoyed doing that together and look forward to seeing what's going to go on in the next couple of weeks in both of those great venues of sports relating to the subject and the sport of football. You know, with these remaining teams, as they complete their final game, they will join those who are already sitting at home busily working on next year, strategizing about what they need and how they can get an edge against their opposition in order to be where they need to be when the season begins in the coming fall. One thing about sports like this, it doesn't matter what the sport usually is, there is always a scoreboard. And that scoreboard does not lie. It gives us the result. In fact, many who operate in the sporting industry, because of the love of sports and the support of the public, it becomes extremely pressure-driven and the pressure to win. But the result is always reality. One wins, one loses, or one team wins, another team loses, and so it goes on and on. But you know what? In reality, regardless of whether you are in sports, business, healthcare, or numerous other professions, the results usually reveal reality. Just remember, there is nothing more challenging than really discovering your own reality. And you know what? Relating to those scoreboards, while that may appear to be the reality, there are many realities that lead to that final reality. If someone is not willing to do this or not willing to do that, or the sports franchise or the company or whatever it may be, the church, if they're not willing to go there, then guess what? you're going to be getting the same results. In life and leadership, we have to discipline ourselves to face reality. I'm talking about the real reality about who we are, where we are, what are we doing, how we are doing, and whether we are doing it as effective as God created us to be. A lot of this comes back to what others call self-awareness, and there is no doubt about that. But we need to be well aware of how God has shaped us and the way God has created us. And just as difficult as discovering reality personally is, I just want to tell you, it's even more difficult in your workplace. In life and work and career and the future, we have to peel back again and again to discover the real reality. And this is why this podcast is about this subject today, defining your reality. A few years ago, a respected business leader wrote a book entitled The Art of Leadership. The author, Max Dupree, once said, quote, "The first responsibility of a leader is to define reality." I want to say that again. The first responsibility of a leader is to define reality. For those who are listening while you're on a golf course or you're on your way to run some errand for the family, or those who might be watching in whatever setting, with your team or by yourself, I want to say it one more time. The first responsibility of a leader is to define reality. This is so true, and I must often repeat it to myself again and again. You see, oftentimes, neither the leaders nor those they are leading are interested in this at all. They have an image of who they are and an imagination of what they are leading and doing, and they like it. At times, they know it is not safe to ask the hard questions and get to the real reality. Therefore, they just continue on in their fantasy life and their fantasy job, so that they do not want to rock the boat at all, even including in their own lives. Many sports teams are like this. Businesses can become like this. Churches can become like this. And each one of us as people, we can become like this. I am presently serving as the interim pastor of a church not far from here. I'm still speaking around the country and helping others through all sorts of things, from mentoring to consulting and many other ways. And I will continue to serve them. As this church is between pastors, I'm working with them through their own challenges as a church. Now, none of us can assume anything, because assuming does not guarantee reality. That's why all of us, whatever we lead, we must press in and discover our reality. Define our reality. And listen, you don't do that 1 year and then you do it, 5 years later. You have to do it again and again and again. And when I look back at my life, and I look at the ebbs and the flows, and I look at the ups and the downs, and I look at the challenges of leading an organization like I did, Cross Church, for almost 33 years, I think one of the secrets to what the Lord blessed was that I was always willing to try to define my reality. And I was always willing to press in to the challenges you're facing and define where are we really as a church. Regardless of what the numbers say, regardless of what the offering says, regardless of what this group says, where are we? And we ask it again and again and again. You know, I don't know if you've thought through how to do this in your own life or in your business or whatever you do in your life, even your church, but you need to think about it. I've been thinking about it a lot through the years. And as I have been really focused in on some matters, I just want to tell you that I believe, looking at it from way up here, that there are 4 steps that define and help you define your reality. Your reality personally, your reality about your family, your reality about your future, your reality about your influence, your reality about what you lead. And the greatest thing you lead is you get to lead yourself. So how do we do this? Listen, if we're not willing to have this conversation, we are going to hurt the organization we serve. If we're not willing to have this conversation, we're going to hurt ourselves. And we're going to limit our own potential that God has given to us. But here, I want to challenge you to go with me for a few more minutes today. And I want to ask you, let's do first of all, above all, survey the status. Survey the status. That's step 1. What do I mean? I want you to see the big picture. It's important as a leader that you rise up to see the big picture. I want you to rise to the occasion and see things from a 40,000-foot perspective. Oh, including your own life. This will help you in the long run in whatever you do, whether you're looking at your life, your workplace, your church, or whatever you're a part of in your life. I want to encourage you, don't try to judge it, but rise up to the occasion. And this is what I see. What do I see? And how do I see it? I tell you what happened. I want you to look at your life like this again. Get up here in the clouds and look down upon your own life and upon everything you're a part of leading. Look at your church again like this. Many of you go to a local church. Many of you may be leaders of local churches. I want to encourage you, do this with your church. Get up here where you're looking at your church from 40,000 feet up, not from simply on the ground. On the ground's important, but every now and then you got to go up here to really take a look at it, to see how effective things really are. And then look at your workplace like this. It will only help your business. It will only help the one you have to give recognition as your boss. It's only going to help the team that you serve on. Here's what you will do. You may relearn what you may already know, or you may know things and learn things you have never thought of before. And you will begin to see things from the first time in a while from a different perspective and value them in a brand new way. It's like looking through the windshield of your car. Isn't it great when your car is clean and your car has just been washed? And boy, you go on a drive and you can see so well. But after driving a couple of 100 miles or so in the day or in the night, all of a sudden, the next day you get in your car, it's cloudy. And the longer you leave all that stuff on there, on that windshield, the more comfortable you get with it. And that's the way you see things. That's exactly what happens in our life when we do not rise up high to survey the status. Step number 2, ask questions. Ask questions. Ask questions that are hard questions. Their questions may not be clear right now, or it may be possible to know what they are, but ask the hard questions. The hard questions of your life, the hard questions about your job, the hard questions about what you do and how you do it. The hard questions will begin to give you what I call a glimpse into reality. And ask questions that are pretty certain that you know, but ask them again anyway, because you might learn something you don't even know today. And you may have assumed that reality still was where it was 5 years ago, but it's not that way anymore. And you may learn where you are saying and walking away from that conversation, saying to your friend who is with you, wow, I really learned something. I didn't know that. You see, we will learn more and more in a fresh way when we're willing to ask questions about life, about leading, about the organization we serve and how they put their serve on the table. I mean, ask questions again and again and again. Step number 3, write it all down. Whatever you see, whatever you learn, write it all down. Write down the things that may be helpful for your future or the future of your workplace, church, or team. Whatever it is, you are wanting to define reality. It takes a lot of work to get to reality. When you take the time to write it down, it will help you think through it, where things really are, and the questions that you need to be continually asking, or the answers that you've gotten to the questions that you have answered. Plus, when you write it down, or you write it through the technology you use, all that is therapeutic to you. You are transferring, you are unloading, and you are writing it all down. Now, I have to admit, this is hard. It's hard work, phrase by phrase, word by word, taking it apart, making sure you're saying it in the right way and representing the people you serve. I've done this again many, many, many times, and I've done it very recently. But sometimes, I just want you to know, it takes hours and hours, and sometimes weeks and weeks. Why? Because defining your reality is not easy. And it's imperative that you really do it. And stop believing what you think to the point of really evaluating where you are. Because who you are will become your words. Who you are will become your vision. Who you are will become the way you see things, and that's the way you will be able to bring value, not only in your own life, but to the organization in which you serve. Write it all down, and then communicate it. Yes, communicate it. Communicate your discoveries. Communicate the way you have now understood, and you are introducing to those, here is our reality. Go straight to the people who can change it. Don't beat around the bush and play games. Go straight to the people who can do something about it and reveal to them what you've discovered because of all the work you've done. You take your writing and you shape it, and guess what? You shape it again and shape it again in order to crystallize it for those to whom you need to communicate it. And when you communicate it, listen carefully, communicate it humbly, not with pride. Communicate it honestly, but always with love. and communicate it wholly, meaning keep perspective. Remember the big picture and talk about it all. Talk about your assets, talk about your realities, talk about questions that you have to answer or the organization has to answer, and suggest some immediate actions and other actions that can help you get going to the right direction. Well, defining your reality for every person and every organization is not a once and for all deal. As I told you just a few minutes ago, I really believe that is the secret to long-term success in life and in whatever organization that you serve. You have to do it again and again and again. You say, I don't want to do all that. I mean, it looks like we're just not accepting where we are. No, listen, we don't want to be comfortable. We want to honor and do what we're supposed to do in the right way. And we need to do it again and again and again continuously. So step 1, survey your situation. Step 2, ask questions. Step 3, write it all down. Step 4, communicate it. These things will help you, and they will help you define reality. And do not forget the quote of the day from Max Dupree. The first responsibility of a leader is to define reality. Now you know what you need to do, so go and do it today.
Thanks for tuning in. For more information on Ronnie Floyd, go to 4leaders.com. We'll see you next time.